Hey everyone, today I'm here in Pennsylvania checking out the abandoned Turnpike tunnels. Right now this is about a 13-mile bike trail, which is open at your own risk. Alright, now I'm going to film some of the inside of the tunnel. Gonna take a look inside of the mile-long tunnel. I'm gonna keep the camera on as I ride through it. It will take about 10 minutes to go through it. Maybe a little longer. It took 10 minutes to go through there before, but now that I'm doing this bike riding with one hand, I'll probably be slower. I went through it before, averaging 10, 12 miles an hour. Let's go in. It's gotta stop. I need a second hand to turn my lights on. My bike light and my headlamp are basically useless. The battery is down to nothing, but yet I have a mile of this. That's pretty much, yeah, they don't last long. The light I'm using now is a dive lamp. Tons of water here falling. Whoa, 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 whoa. Bunch of potholes. That's all leaking out of the mountain. Got some stalactites up there. This is pretty cool. The light I'm using now is called a dive lamp. It's submersible up to 10 yards, and the battery life is pretty long. The only thing I hate about it is, like most lights, it lets you know it's dying. Light, they get dimmer and dimmer. This one, when it's ready to go, boom, it's off and it won't start again. That would be terrible if that happens right now. Some of the graffiti in here is actually pretty cool. Some of it's childish or inappropriate. Got to be careful in this tunnel. Most of it is smooth and you can go really fast, but occasionally part of the ceiling is crumbling and there's sharp pieces of concrete on the floor that will, if you're going fast, you could lose control. Some areas, there's so much of this broken concrete on the floor. It could also give you a flat tire. This is not a mountain bike. It's made for streets. This bike, it's sat in a hot shed, like a kind of shed that gets in the hundreds in the summer, just sitting in the sun. I am going to buy new tires for this thing and new tubes. I'm gonna put mountain bike tires on it and new tubes, because when something rubber, a tube, sits that long, it increases the chance of it having a blowout, and that happened to me once before. I got this old bike at this garage sale. The guy hadn't used it in like 20 years. It was so cracking and dried out. I went on a bike ride 30 miles away from my house. Suddenly, boom, it popped. The tube popped, and the impact was so large, it ripped the entire tire open. Yeah, when you have that dry rot on a tire, it's time to replace it. This one doesn't really have that yet. I'm at least gonna change the tubes. You see how the light there, in just a minute it's gonna get really bright. We're at an incline. As soon as we get to the middle, we'll start going downhill. That is so water can leave. And there's a lot of drains in here. Most of them are unclogged. It's amazing they work, because there's a few manhole covers that were open. Guess what people do? They use the manhole as a garbage can for all their spray cans, so it clogs up the system. I guess we are going to make that 10-minute deadline. Maybe 15 minutes, because as soon as I see the other end, that is halfway. All those dents in the wall like that, those used to be electrical boxes and stuff. There's still actually a few lights in here. Amazingly, no one smashed them. Okay, you see the end, we're about halfway, so my estimation of 10 minutes was fine. I don't see any of the concrete that I saw earlier. I guess it's all in the left lane that I was in earlier. Let's move over. You can still see the faint yellow line. This tunnel was two-way traffic, and they shut it down because it would have cost a fortune to make it wider or put another tunnel next to it. On the highway getting here, I had to go through 3 tunnels. They're exactly the same as this, the same size and everything, but there's 2 of them next to each other. One's eastbound and one is westbound. You don't have cars going at each other. That's more likely to get a crash. Look at that one's not broken. See all that concrete junk? This tunnel's in great condition for being abandoned 40 years or so. The floor is smooth because they're not using it. Cars are what wrecks it. Road salt, the constant heavy weight of trucks, that's what ruins them. All the tunnels you see in use usually have some bumps. But I've realized since I've been around here, Pennsylvania's roadways are in great shape. They take great care of them. It's a dog. More electrical boxes. The ceiling isn't too bad either. On the very ends, there's rebar showing. That's because it gets the drastic freeze and thaw cycles. But it does freeze all the way in here, but not to the point where it would freeze behind the wall, causing cracking. Not that extreme. You do get wind in here in the winter, so you will see some icicles, but that's about it. I'm actually slowing down right now. No reason. I'm kind of just not even pedaling anymore. I'm just letting it take me through because we're at that nice incline or decline. Probably 2 or 3 degree grade. You gotta remember, they started building this in the 1800s and they gave up. It was originally going to be for trains, so that means there's no big hills on this highway. But the hills, they're slowly going up over a far distance, and that will tire you out to a couple degree grade over a period of a mile or 2. It will. It tired me out. You hear that squeaking? The tire is a little bit lopsided, and every time it goes around, it's scraping against my kickstand. I'm gonna take a break in here in just a minute before we come out. Imagine how long it took for them to draw all this stuff. You know, some of the places you can even smell spray paint today. Some of the stuff is very fresh. So I guess I learned here to travel in this lane. The other one's full of broken concrete. Okay, we're almost out. Let's see what's on the other side. That was a bit dangerous. I couldn't see a thing when I turned it around. The smaller tunnel, that's only half a mile, you can almost get away without lights. The white concrete floor illuminates so much light into the tunnel. That's actually annoying me now. That squeak. It doesn't squeak when I'm pedaling. All right, we're about to come out. I think I'm gonna ride through it one more time for fun. Looks like they filled some potholes in here, I guess for bikers. There's new asphalt. Well, there's nobody else. I haven't seen anybody else here except this morning at this one. There was a few people up there that were camping in the woods above it. But that was all. They were nice. That is a super cool place. So, the reason they closed it, because there wasn't enough room for the traffic, because you see they had the bottleneck 4 lanes into the tunnel. Let's get another look right here. You can tell by the evidence. This place floods when it rains, because the drains are all clogged with people's trash. I wonder how tall the ceiling is in here. It looks like it's definitely tall enough for stuff like big rigs. Lights on. I will definitely come here again. I want to come here in the middle of the winter, but not on a snowy day. I want to still be able to ride through here, but on a really cold day, I think that would be nice. But if anyone wants to come check this out, it's pretty awesome. I recommend parking where I parked, at the end down this way towards the big tunnel. The other one, the parking lot is right on the main road, but it's usually pretty packed, because I saw it yesterday on a Sunday. There was a ton of people here. I didn't go to the tunnel yesterday because I drove down here and I was super tired after 8-9 hours of driving, so I went and I parked at Walmart. They allow overnight parking, and that's where I slept. Came out here, I woke up at 2 a.m., so I drove around for a while, saw a whole bunch of deer, and I started walking into the tunnel at about 5 in the morning or so.